Okay, this is the route that I built to test grade crossings on this game, Train Simulator 2012. I thought about moving it to Trainz a New Era to test it, but there's a lot of stuff on this route that I have on this route that won't work on that game. So I'm going back to this route to edit it a little bit and get rid of the faulty dependencies that aren't faulty on Trainz 2012. I thought you'd like a quick heads up about which content you might not be able to use on this game, so that you'll know how to prepare for it. Okay, first of all, this track does not work on Trainz a New Era, so you're going to have to delete all of these and replace it with this track. This track works for some reason, but this concrete one does not. So you won't be able to use that. So right now, I'm trying to replace all of these concrete tracks with tracks that'll work. Another problem, let's see. In addition to the tracks not working, I'm having a bit of a problem with some of my rolling stock. I didn't think I would though, because I only use recently created content and content I downloaded from Jointed Rail. But there is one problem with one of the freight cars, one of them that came from Jointed Rail. Let's see, here's the train that I created. The problem freight car is this one, the whale car. What is wrong with it? The bogies are faulty. Of course, I fixed this problem by just changing the bogie to a different one. The bogies that came with these freight cars are built into Trainz 2012, but they don't work on Trainz a New Era. So I changed them to similar looking bogies that were downloaded. These work on Trainz a New Era, but there's another problem with the freight car. These middle cars are all faulty, even if you change the bogie. They won't appear in the game. So, your only option, if you still want to use this car, is to only use the first and last car. Which of course is pretty stupid, because these cars are only coupled in groups of 3s and 5s. So if your only option is to couple them in groups of 2, it's not even going to make sense. This freight car works, however. This one that isn't articulated, so I guess you could use this one in place of that. But unfortunately, if I want this route to work on Trainz a New Era, hold on. If I want these train cars to work on Trainz a New Era, I'm gonna have to take all of these whale cars, decouple them. Wow, they actually have sound. It's a real waste. It's a real shame that I have to get rid of them. Yep, I have to delete every single one of these from the route if I want them to work. If I want the route to work on Trainz a New Era, I can replace them with these freight cars if I want to. But I really like the articulated ones. And these whale cars are actually my favorite freight cars in the whole game. So I'm actually quite annoyed at the fact that I can't use them. I can still use these. Wow. I can still use these cars if I want to, but I can't use articulated ones at all. Let's see, what's another problem I have to fix? These road railer cars work fine. Let me see. Do I have any other whale cars in the entire game that I could use? I don't think I do. But yeah, this first and last car are the only two of the whale cars that actually work. They're your only choices. You can't put anything in the middle, because the middle one would be faulty. I'm gonna see if I can find some kind of weld card that I can put between these though. I downloaded a few last night. I'm not sure if they're compatible though. Let's see. They're probably under 59. Okay, 53, I meant. Okay. This one is not articulated, so I can't couple it to these. What about this? This one isn't articulated either. So yeah, I can't use the articulated weld cars. However, oops, I scrolled up to. How about the man, there's a lot of trains in this game that won't work. How about the Kano? I mean, I know it's not going to match or anything, but wow, it looks like it'll couple to it, sort of. But you couldn't do this in real life, of course, because they don't match. Also, since neither of these have wheels on both sides, you still can't couple this end. So yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, looks like I have to say goodbye to that freight car. Unless they find a way to fix that before the official release. Another problem I have in this game, these railroad crossings, this specific one does not work because one of its dependencies, Corona Null, is faulty on Trainz: A New Era. The only way to fix it is to edit the railroad crossing before putting it on Trainz: A New Era, and changing the Corona Null to any other Corona that isn't faulty. I have another grade crossing I use on this route that has the same problem. It's a pain having to edit everything, but at least I don't have to part with it. Now I'm still changing all of these tracks because obviously they're not working on the game. So I'm going to take this and replace this as well. Actually, is there a way to replace? Is there a quicker way to replace something on this? Like replace assets. Oh, let's see if I can use this. Asset to replace with. How do I use this? Enable to replace assets in the current selection only. How do I use this? Oh, I think I know how. So, can I drag this name over? Okay. It looks like that'll work. And I'm replacing it with this. Hey, it worked. Well, that was easy. Now I don't have to go through the trouble of changing all these tracks around. Now it's the correct type. Now, oh yeah, I also have to replace these. It's weird. You wouldn't think that a jointed rail track would be faulty. But it is. Okay, luckily I don't have to replace all of these triggers and everything, because that would be really hard to do. The train's still on the track too, so that's really convenient. This is the only well car I can use, isn't it? Well, for now anyway. Hopefully they'll fix that error in the future. They did say that things that are built into Trainz 2012 that they made downloadable, that's basically what they're planning on doing. But even if you make the built-in objects downloadable, there's really no point if you can't use them anyway. Like the steam locomotive cab that was built into this game. That was made downloadable, but after I downloaded it, it was still faulty. So what was the point? I mean, I still can't use it. It's still useless to me. Okay, here's another one of the crossings that was not working on Trainz a New Era. These overhead crossings are working fine. This one, because one of its dependencies is that null corona, was not working at all. So that was a problem too. The traffic lights seem to work on Trainz a New Era though. Okay, now that I fixed all of these errors, I'm going to try to add this game to Trainz a New Era and see if it'll work. Later, I'm going to test the route I built with all the Japanese railroad crossings to see if that Trainz has stopped working error would be removed. Okay, terrible news. Apparently, editing these freight cars isn't enough. They're still very faulty because of texture errors on Trainz a New Era, so I have to get rid of these too, unfortunately. Also, these trailer flat cars, even though they're built into Trainz 2012, they can't be found anywhere on the download station when on Trainz a New Era, so I have to get rid of these as well. Do I have any well cars that I can use on this game? Well, this is pretty disappointing. The well cars are the only freight cars on this entire game I enjoy using, besides the auto rack cars. So yeah, I'm very disappointed that I can't use them. I don't really care too much for the box cars or anything else, really. Okay, let's see if this well car I downloaded last night will work. These are various types of well cars. Okay. Looks like these have sound effects too. Can I put something inside them? Yeah, looks like I can. That's interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, I guess these cars aren't so bad. They're just not what I'm used to using. Of course, I still have to make sure these cars even work on that game. Okay, now there's another missing dependency that I can't find on the download station on Trainz a New Era, and I'm still not sure what it is. It says it's code number 211025 semicolon 410007, but I can't find that anywhere, even though I apparently have it. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It's not any of this stuff, because all this stuff is already installed on that game. It's not any of the freight cars I checked. I have no idea what that number is for. Don't tell me the game froze again. Okay. It looks like these well cars from the what's the username of the guy that made this? BTVFD. It looks like these work on Trainz a New Era. They don't show up as faulty at all. Unfortunately, Norfolk Southern 37's well cars don't work on this game at all.